this is Marjory Wildcraft, and on this edition of Homesteading Basics, we're going to talk about the difference, what makes a tool a quality tool versus another tool that breaks on you. Today I'm at the Known Source, which is a local nursery in Taylor, Texas, with Ross Remy, and I noticed Ross has a selection of very high quality tools here. And gosh, Ross, you know, every time I bought tools from those big box stores, they break. Like, yes. I mean, I destroy tools. I'm a tool destroyer.
Yeah, you always think, you know, you can go that extra inch, and yeah, that's the breaking point.
You wouldn't think of that much. I mean, like a 150-pound woman, all right. Really 145 pounds. Anyway,
it's that extra 10 pounds that we're talking about on the camera.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't think that I could destroy tools, but I do, and regularly. So yeah. I'm looking at this as a beefy thing. Can you tell us a little bit about, like, what's the difference between a quality tool and, you know, a cheaper big box tool?
Sure, yeah. So again, I'd like to stress that, yeah, I'm a professional. We try to use tools that are going to last as long as possible. You know, I will pay that extra $20 or $30 to make sure that I can get a little extra life out of that.
I think it's actually a lot more life than the $20 or $30.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit pessimistic on that. No, it's much more life than that, and we get used to using these tools. And once you start valuing your tools and, you know, taking the time to clean them and sharpen them, I mean, it really you get better at using it. You know what I mean? There's even something to be said for that when you're having to constantly shop around for new tools to replace. I mean, you really do get the hang of using a single tool. So I find that the tools that I've been using for a long time are the most efficient at using. But yeah, again, what I'm looking for is you know, thicker handles. You know, they last a lot longer.
This is definitely a beefy handle right here.
Beefy handle.
Yep, nice
you know,
handle.
Depending on what you're going for, you know, wooden handles can be a bit heavier than fiberglass. But I was you know, mentioning fiberglass can be a bit of a problem in the heat. You know, after it's exposed to sun, it starts to flake away, and so I find that there is a lifespan on those. So a lot of times I'll end up throwing the head of another tool onto a wooden handle after I'm done.
Right, I'm not sure about the fiberglass handles, but these can definitely be replaced easily.
Of course, yes, the handles are always to be replaced. So if you really start looking at tools as, yeah, you're buying you know, a valuable piece of metal that can be attached onto you know, just about any handle, you'll find that, yeah, it's a very efficient way to start, you know, looking at your tools. You know, we're in a society where we constantly just buy replacements, you know, and when you start valuing your tools, sharpening them, cleaning them, they're more efficient. You know, they're great. And so yeah, you know, I've gone through a number of big box tools before I found that out. You know, you always think you can get away with just one more, and that's never the case. So. And
I've noticed this is like a really thick, sturdier level of metal
Yes, it
here.
seems that just, you know, that next size up in the steel just makes the biggest difference. I mean, I'm sure y'all have used those trowels in your garden where you just think you can go jam it in and plant a 4-incher and you just bend it and immediately.
Right?
And, so yeah, that's a huge problem for me. So, you know, we like, you know, thicker steel. You know, let's get it as beefy as we can, and you know, have it last a long time.
Yeah, and I noticed this has shims in the top, and then it's also got like a screw set,
extra reinforcement screw in the
back there,
you know. And yeah, backups to backups for keeping it attached. It's great, you know, and the way that's designed, I mean, it's always going to be an outward swing. So yeah, you're never going to have a piece of metal flying off the top, you know, and clipping somebody.
This is a true pro. And then you've got, and this is actually one of my other favorite brands for what you've got is the clippers, and that's Corona?
Corona, yeah. Corona's another good brand. I mean, you know, it's pretty much available probably wherever you're at. But yeah, it's super good quality. They do offer the economical brand too. This is going to be like the kind of next level up. These are amazing loppers. I mean, you make it through something about 1.5 inches thick. And again, I mean, you maintain this blade, you keep it clean, and it's a tool that's going to last you a very long time. These are, you know, metal handles. You know, it just depends on what the goals are. You know, fiberglass can be a little bit lighter. You know, metal can be a little bit lighter. You know, here we have an aluminum handle for a leaf rake, which already doesn't need to be too, you know.
Now, this is something that doesn't need to be too beefy.
Exactly.
We're talking about leaves,
so you want
right?
it to be light. You know, it's a very repetitive motion. You don't want to be lugging around something heavy. But at the same time, what usually goes wrong with these is the tines. You know, they're not reinforced. They always come out of place, and you end up breaking the same leaf 20 times. These are very beefy tines. You know, so the effort, the engineering is being put into the areas that matter. And So some tools that may be the handle, like swinging tools like this, you know, or the blade itself, or sometimes it's the tines, or in this case, you know, the weight behind a T-post driver. But yeah, you know, we try to vet our tools before we bring them in, and we try to make sure that they can last a little bit longer than some of you know, our competitors.
Well,
and,
that's one of the values of a
yeah.
small local nursery, is you're going to generally have a little bit higher quality tools.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ross, thanks so much for your time. I
Thank
super
you for
appreciate
having
it. Yeah. All right, y'all, this is Marjory Wildcraft. Take care of your tools, and I'll catch you on the next edition of Homesteading Basics.